All right. So I am here with a very special guest. He has 10K on TikTok and over 70K on Instagram. We have Vala, who goes by Valatility. And why don't you introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, hey, pleasure to be here. Thank you for reaching out to me.
Right.
Yeah, my name is Vala, go by Volatility. And I am a commodities trader at a fund. And I've been, trading commodities for about 3.5 years now. Started my career at a physical trade shop, Louis Dreyfus, shout outs. And I'm now yeah running my own book at the fund I'm currently at. I just started that about a month ago. So finally made it to the big leagues, have a spot at the table, and really excited to launch this next part of my career.
All right. So I first got introduced to your content when you had like a big setup on the desk wearing white Air Force Ones.
Yeah.
And on the that's how I first got introduced to your content. For those who want to get into trading, like what would you say you need to help break into the industry?
Yeah, so yeah, I actually added two more monitors and another computer to the setup. But yeah, I would say if you want to be a institutional trader, that means managing other people's money, meaning endowments, meaning pensions, stuff like that. You need, to have a formal education. And, most of the top funds, they like to hire from like top 20 schools. So I would encourage you if you really want to become a trader to try to get into a top 20 university and study statistics like slash mathematics, computer science, and economics. Those three things, they intersect beautifully for trading, especially nowadays where a lot of people, are trading, using with Python and quantitatively with C++ and whatnot. You definitely, want to study those and every summer and also like every fall, these companies, these big funds like Citadel and such, they'll come to campus, and you need to go to your campus like employer events, because for me all of the opportunities I got in college were from those career fairs. I applied to hundreds of jobs on LinkedIn, on Glassdoor, yada yada. But at the end of the day, this is still kind of a handshake and smile business. And you definitely need to go and show your face. And I have no doubt that if you study very hard, those three subjects, you go to a good university, and you go shake some hands, that you will get an internship that will likely lead to a full-time seat, trading. So that's the advice that I give. I give that to everybody. That's just, in my view, the where the industry is going and what I think a lot of people are looking for. So that's just my opinion.
All right, so as far as if you did not go to a top school, is there still any possibility
That's
of
a great.
going to? Because like I don't go to a top school, but if I wanted to get a job in trading, like what would I need to do?
No, that's totally fair. So the reason I said top 20 was, going to, the top 20 funds, right? But the truth is there are thousands of firms, of funds that, manage capital, and, make money silently, right? So, there are a lot of funds you can work for and trade for. and nobody would know the name of the fund, but you are still, making, really, really good money. So it's absolutely, you're not cooked whatsoever. You just like have to be okay with being, at a smaller fund. Which in my opinion, like who cares if you're making about the same money? Some people like prestige. So I guarantee you that if you go to say, even a top 100 or top 200 school, that if you, study those things and you get really involved in your business, school and your computer science school and your math school, that you can facilitate, being that top person, in that graduating class at that school. And most likely there'll be a fund or a firm or something in your town, like assuming you don't live in the middle of nowhere, but like if you live in like a somewhat
Bigger
medium.
city-ish type situation.
Yeah, exactly. Bigger city-ish. There'll be like some funds that will hire traders, and they'll look for the local universities because they can't afford, say someone from MIT or something. So there is absolutely supply and demand in every major city. So you're not cooked at all. And the nice thing about this industry is that it's a true meritocracy. And if you can kill, you can kill, and the people will find you. So
So you can
like
work your way up if you put in, sorry for interrupting you, but you can put in results and you can work up. Is that how the
yeah,
situation is? Okay.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Like you have a proven track record that's verifiable, and you have like a legitimate strategy that can be like just like automated so that it can run and you have like really good just risk management and stuff like any funds like would at least talk to if you have like a somewhat reputable background. People are in the business of making money, and some people make money silently and compound capital very well. And there's always demand for that.
All right. So especially in the past few years, there's a lot of these TikTok traders, guys who just sell a course to get people to join who don't really trade like that, who don't really have results like that. They just are using their lifestyle. They rent out a Lambo, and they
Yeah.
say, "Look, this is what I made from trading."
Yeah.
Like, how can you tell like real traders from fake traders is what I'm trying
Yeah.
to ask you.
No, that's a great question. Yeah, so let me tell you something. The greatest traders in the world, you don't know about them. So like what that means is like if I have an insane strategy that compounds capital with like a 3 to 5 sharp or more. I promise you, I'm not gonna make like a TikTok video about it. I'm not gonna tell anyone about it. I don't even want, some people, within the firm to know exactly like every little thing, right? Like, and obviously, like if asked to, to go in detail of like how I think, like I will have to, but I definitely want to say that like if someone's trying to sell you a trading strategy, like the more people that trade a style of strategy, the less money that is to be made for the group. So, markets that have very few traders, it's very profitable. There's a lot of pricing inefficiencies, and they're easier to trade. Um, so yeah, I mean, uh yeah, like I kind of forgot what the question was fully, but um,
How can you tell the real traders from the fake ones?
yeah. Okay, yeah, basically like the fake ones like will tell you their strategy, the real ones won't tell you their strategy. That's the difference between a real trader and a fake trader. Real traders are, like they're thinking about, the opportunity cost of, like spending, I don't know, 200, 300K on a car versus like, using that 300K to, I don't know, trade with, right? Because you can, make still good money trading with 300K. Like, so yeah, I mean, it's just like, why would anyone want to sell you anything that would make them earn less money? The more people that trade like me, the more competition, the less inefficiencies. There's less money to be made per person, right? More mouths are fed.
All right. So I was gonna ask you your strategy, but I guess it's off the table. So
No,
let's
no,
talk.
I can talk very vaguely about it.
Not very vaguely. Don't give away too much secret sauce. Don't
Absolutely
give away
not.
too much.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm very conscious of that. I trade commodities, and I trade fundamentally. So what that means is that, I'm looking at the balance sheet for a product like corn or soybeans. And if you are able to predict the supply of corn, for example, which you can do by, creating weather models, like yield models to know how much corn is growing in Iowa, or, just like the price of like freight, ocean freight, like all these things, right? We use the fundamental data to predict where the price of futures should be and spreads between futures. So you can use these fundamental methods of getting the supply and demand. If you can figure out the supply and demand, you can figure out where price should go. Um, so that's the goal, right? Predict the supply, predict the demand, and divide the two, use that to model, where prices should go and where prices should go relative to where other things should go. And so that's the strategy, right? It's fundamental investing in commodities using, like quantitative methods with that. To be able to look at things even more different than, say, a fundamental commodities trader. So yeah, I like to call it quantamental commodities trading. Like that's kind of the strategy.
As your strategy?
Yeah.
All right. So as far as what is your favorite part about being a trader? What's like life like, and like what's your favorite part about
Yeah.
trading?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my favorite part is just that like it's like running a business, right? Like it's entrepreneurial. It's exciting because you can have I've always loved like having hypotheses and like testing them and being able to prove if I'm right or wrong, using statistics. And like the problem with like a lot of the like other academic stuff, like if you would be a professor, like it can take 10 years to answer a hypothesis. But in trading, you can have a hypothesis and test it and know within like 10 minutes if that is a real thing or not. And everyone knows, everyone can tell when something's real and when something's not real, in this industry. And there's a lot of demand for real stuff.
Could you explain a
Uh,
little bit what you mean by that? What's real and what's not real, everyone can tell? Or do you not want to explain too much?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I've like gone in probably, yeah, too much detail. But overall, like yeah, I mean just yeah, I mean everyone's gonna like be different, but like overall, like I just love being able to have like my own business and be able to like have kind of a linear payoff for the amount of effort I put in to the amount of reward that I reap. And it's a true meritocracy, right? It doesn't matter if you're 20 or 25 or 45. Like if you make money, you make money. If you're smart, you're smart, and everyone knows. And it shows through time. Um, so the longer you survive, the more desire you have, for your talents, right? Because most people don't last like usually more than like 3 to 5 years, because it is a very intense environment. But overall, you eat what you kill, and if you're an entrepreneur, like it's a great way to get into a business where you know if you're right or wrong, and like pretty much immediately. Um,
So what first piqued your interest in trading and like the markets and stuff like that?
Yeah. Yeah. So like the very first market I ever traded, like I was like paper trading. So this wasn't like real. I was 15 years old. And I was paper trading Bitcoin. And the only reason I like knew about Bitcoin was because I had this like paper trading app. And like Bitcoin was always like on the top like three first assets for some reason. I don't know.
What
I
year was
really
this?
don't
Uh,
know.
What year was this? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
2015.
2015. Okay.
Yeah,
So
about 10 years
we're around
ago.
the same age then, if that's the case. We're around the same age. So I first heard of Bitcoin in 2019. Like I was kind of late to the party.
No, that's, hey, like the best time is now time. So, like in 2019, like, right? Like, yeah, either way. Like at 15, I started trading like Bitcoin, like not real money, like paper money.
Yeah, paper.
And I found a phenomenon where if I went to bed at like around like 9 to 10 p.m. and I bought Bitcoin and then I like sold it when I woke up at like 6 a.m., that like almost more times than not, like the price would be higher in the morning than when I went to bed. And so I started doing that and I made a ton of money like doing that for like a couple months and then like I stopped because like I don't know why honestly, but I should have, kept doing it and stuff. But I discovered what I didn't know at that time, but the nighttime effect. So there is a real effect in markets where the most of the money in the stock market is made overnight. And that's, just because there's more like news events and stuff that happen after hours. Most people, do like moves after hours. And so that's why, right? So people found out that you could just buy at night, sell in morning and make money. But the more people that do a strategy,
The less
the
money
less.
you make.
So that's why real traders don't tell you what they're doing. Um, so yeah, like that's yeah how I got into it, and then obviously like I kept with the market since I was 15, and I didn't like always want to go into commodities. It kind of just landed in my lap, and I took it and I ran with it, and I got really lucky to start my career in a commodities boom. And I got really lucky there, and so I was like riding the first class of basically inflation hires, because more people get hired to do commodities when inflation is higher.
And this was during the
So yeah,
pandemic. So when inflation was
yeah,
rising because of the money being printed into the system. So
exactly, yeah, yeah. So I got lucky to be at the right place at the right time, to be mentored by, what I think is probably the best, agricultural trading company in the world, Louis Dreyfus, and I was mentored there by my old boss. He taught me a lot. I'm very grateful for him. And yeah, I wish him, obviously nothing the best always. And I learned a lot from him like in a year. And I'm like, holy crap! Like I kind of wish, like I could have learned way more, if I stayed. But hindsight is 2020. But I have no regrets in life. I'm very happy with how everything happened in my life, and now just like doing that here, at a fund, not doing like physical stuff, but all financial. Um, and yeah, it's been really awesome.
so I have to ask about the setup that you have that you got viral for. Did you do you trade from home or is that your work setup?
Yeah, that's at work. Yeah, that's the work setup.
Okay. So another thing is like what do you do like when you're not trading? Like when you do in your free time, what do you like to like who is volatility?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good question. Yeah, so if I'm not working, right? Well, usually I work from like 8 a.m. to like 4 to 4:30 p.m. And the traffic is kind of crazy, so I try to leave a little bit earlier from the office because the commute is pretty bad. And then like after work, like I will come home, hang out with my partner, and we, like to watch like Netflix, eat food. And then like on the weekends, like usually just go explore the world, go thrifting, get tattoos. I have a lot of we have a lot of tattoos. Um, and yeah, I mean these days just really just been grinding and yeah, just in love. As some may know. And that's about it, just vibing or a farming. No, I'm just kidding. But just vibing, having a good time,
Beautiful.
trying to make it, balling out, being cool.
I,
I don't know. I'm a
okay.
easygoing. So I'm just
So that was a little vague question because this is my second episode, so I'm still a little new to this. But as
oh,
far
you're good.
as um, if you have one piece of advice you give to anybody that wants to start or use trading as a career path, like one single piece of advice, what is
Yeah.
the most important one?
Ooh, okay. Good question. One piece of advice. Okay, so like here's the thing, right? I could give you like one advice, right? I could give you just a generic thing, but one of the biggest things that I've never heard anyone say to me ever, is act like this is my advice to you. Ask as many people as possible for advice, okay?
And that's
Like
so.
the more people you ask, the better. And preferably, like people that you look up to that deem are ethical people that are trusting people, just good people. And ask their advice, ask as many people as possible, 10, 20, 30, and then take all of their advice and average all of their advice, maybe give pops a little bit more weight, moms a little more weight, and then form your advice based on all of their advice because that is the average, path, and you want to take the average path like that is expected from these great individuals because you could, potentially fall short of that average. Or you could be better. But overall, like, take that bet, right? And yeah, you listen to everyone's advice. Never take one person's advice fully. Like, don't
You
just
got
hear
like,
something.
yeah, because like they could have an agenda or
Yeah,
they could like not like you or some shit, and they
look,
could probably
look,
purposely give you the wrong advice because they want something to happen. So,
exactly, right? Don't be too trusting, okay? Like, just think that like everyone has had a different experience in life, a different, advantage, disadvantage. No one's like experience is going to be the same as someone else's. So don't use someone else's way of viewing the world as your own. Like that is the way to, be mediocre, and really just, feel lost. So, find it's good, it's a good to like find out how people do things, right? But find out a lot of ways and make the way that works for you from seeing all those or averaging all those. So that's my advice.
all right. So that is all I got for you today. I appreciate you coming on the show. I'll give you a shout
Yeah.
out on YouTube in the description, and I will also shout you out on TikTok as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. When can I expect to see the video?
About a week.
Okay, word. Yeah,
I'm just hella
please.
busy with like finals and stuff like that. So,
Oh, right. Are you're a senior, you're in your senior year?
yep, I'm getting my master's degree too. So,
Oh, very nice. Very, what in again?
business.
Business. Gotcha. That's awesome. Yeah. Are you still looking for any
I am
opportunities or
I am still looking for a job opportunity after college. So
yeah, and you're
also,
interested in reading?
yep. Also, I'm interested. Also, why I wanted to interview today, just to get the insight of a professional trader like yourself.
No,
I try
that's
to be
hey,
on some good shit, but yeah, I was trying to make
look,
sure I got some advice, some
yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, major props to you. And like, one thing I'll say is like you have grit and like you can't teach that. So like you have that natural, get like go and get it attitude, and that's what you need for trading. Um, so yeah, I'm certain that you'll be able to find, some opportunity that, really want. Maybe it's on the broker side first, and then you can go into trading. But like at a trading company, I have no doubt that you can find something. Obviously, Chicago, New York, Miami, Houston.
way.
London, these are the places that, have more like supply of jobs, but you can find, in every state opportunities. So yeah, I mean, definitely you have me as a connect. Unfortunately, like we don't hire people out of college. Um,
I
but
understand.
no, 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 yes. Like, after out of like masters, usually we hire people like actually way older than me. I really slipped in through the cracks. But yeah, the average age is probably like 30 plus. So um yeah, I mean just keep grinding and I'm here for you. So if you have any questions at all, like definitely feel free to hit me up and everything. So
All right. Appreciate you coming on
yeah,
the show, man. It will be, this is my second episode, and I hope to have more. And
yeah,
any,
man.
you want to say to the people anything at all, you could say whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah. Just be honest with yourself. Shouts outs to the fans for real. I'm just vibing, and I hope you're vibing too. Tough times. But I truly believe that, the power of envisioning things and I encourage you to, win in your mind first, right? Because you can't win in person if you don't win in your mind first. So you gotta have that first, right? So have a winner's mentality, right? Good things can happen to you and they can continue to happen to you for a long time. Okay, so ride that momentum when you get it. Don't fade it, ride it. So yeah, shouts outs to you, shouts outs to everyone. You know, higher, that's all I gotta say.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on and looking forward to speaking with you soon. Uh, to all my people on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and follow Volatility on his platform as well. So,
Yeah, yeah. Yep. Subscribe, like, comment, share everything. I wish you the best, man, for real.
do your best too, man.